Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We're bellying up to the bar today with a podcaster, an actor,
Yes.
a entrepreneur, a educator on the cannabis arts. I'm coining that term right now, cannabis arts.
I like that.
You like that? Artist and a educator in the cannabis arts. The host of New England Hippies, Mr. Jarvis Moore.
Right. Thank you for having me. Shout out to Above the Bar. Shout out to Sean, man, for having me. It's a blessing being here Above the Bar. Blessing everybody, talking about cannabis, talking about different lot of stuff, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we were kind of hitting up on a few different things just before we got started, so we'll get into that here in a moment. But as we always got to do before the show gets started, we got to make sure the house cleaning is done, the bar's set and ready to rock and roll. So first things first, over my right shoulder, and I'm gonna move the mic here in a second. We got Sticker in a Cause. If you've got something you believe in, something you're supporting, I don't care if it's a T-ball league, I don't care if it's you're pro whatever, I don't care. Reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. They're all the Above the Bar podcast. Even the email is theabovethebarpodcast@gmail.com. Reach on out to us. Let me know what you're supporting. Give me a little write-up on it. I'll tell you the email address where to send it to. You send it out to me, and we'll read it live here on the show. So make sure you're doing that. For those of you that are watching us right now, as we're getting ready to kick us off, make sure you're going ahead and share this with everyone. Put it on all your yard sale, Facebook yard sale sites, and everywhere else that's out there. That way we can do our best to try to get banned off of all those things. The more of them you share, then people realize it and go on. And the most important thing, if your media is nothing but seeds and stems and you're trying to go ahead and upgrade that to some fresh kush, make sure you're reaching out to Media by Dibs. That's Media by Dibs. That's DIBS. You can find all them pictures that you saw this week all over the place. That's all my boy Dibs. He's our he does all of our media. Make sure you're reaching out to Media by Dibs. That's DIBS. You can find him on LinkedIn is Andrew Dibble. On Instagram is Media by Dibs. Twitter is Media by Dibs, and Facebook is Media by Dibs, DIBS. Make sure you reach out to him. And if you mention to him Belly Up to the Bar, he's going to give you a 10% discount on your first order and a free consultation to figure out what it is you need. So make sure you're reaching out to Media by Dibs.
Reach out.
And Big Nate's already here. Campfire scene was nice last week. It was nice last week. And we had, I got to tell you guys, go look up Augie Freeman. That show got deeper than I thought it was going to be. Another Marine who went through some stuff and experienced some things. And we were going to talk about, he does swing dancing. And we were going to talk about that. I don't know if you caught that one or not, bro. And he's into it. He's a competitive swing dancer. And both him and I served in the Marine Corps, and we got in some deep Marine Corps stuff. So make sure you reach back out and take a listen to last week's show with Augie Freeman. So we're set up, brother. Jarvis, we are in. We are here. The bar is open. You got a little chiba.
Yeah, I got me some good kush right now. Definitely you always need good kush on deck. That's always a must.
Well, I said that to somebody recently as a lot of these state laws were changing. I knew growing up, my parents had friends that weren't drinkers, but always had a 6-pack in the refrigerator. It was kind of one of those things like you had a bottle in somewhere and they didn't drink, but they always had it. And it was kind of a courtesy thing that if somebody showed up that you could say, hey, I got coffee, soda, I got a beer, I got whatever they got. With so many laws changing from state to state, do you think cannabis has become that? Like you've got to keep like a small stash for like the guest that shows up and you're like, well, I got some edibles over here. I've got a pre-roll. What would you like?
It's getting like that. I'm saying the culture is definitely starting to change because like now a lot of people are buying or consuming cannabis a little bit more or just as much as alcohol now, and especially in the legal states, because you can go into the store and buy it. It's just like buying liquor. If you want your favorite drink or your favorite beer, you go to the store. Now we can do that with cannabis, and it's kind of a blessing and a curse, because just the taxes is real crazy, and I feel like Massachusetts there wasn't chasing culture. They was chasing money, but if they was chasing the culture, they would get the money a little bit faster. 'Cause if I'm not mistaken, Massachusetts, we were the first state to legalize cannabis in the east, up here
On the
in the
East
north,
Coast.
on the East Coast. So so we have big shoes to fill, and I feel like we still didn't fill them to the best, because I feel like it's not as diverse as it should be when it comes to cannabis owners and people having high job positions in cannabis.
What do you mean?
I feel like the cannabis industry in Massachusetts is not diverse enough. I feel like they only cater to one group of people, and it's harder for the other group of people to really get in.
Now, this is interesting that you bring it up that way. So when you say that you feel that they're in the state of Massachusetts, and I looked it up, your guys' taxes on cannabis are serious. It was kind of like, you guys can have it, but we're getting paid for it. So, and that brings up kind of two questions for me. But my first question is when you say that they're catering to a certain group, what do you mean by that?
Why I say they cater to a certain group is like when it comes to like opening up cannabis shops, dispensaries and cultivation, they only open up to a certain group. I feel like they put to open up a cannabis a dispensary in Massachusetts, they put the bar so high that only certain type of people can actually get it, and it's making it harder for people who actually kind of went to war. I mean, actually went to jail for war on drugs and war on cannabis, who, you know what I mean? And they're not, I feel like they should be kind of like first priority, because a lot of them was just trying to feed their family, what other people trying to do now on the legal level. And now, since they just wiped the record clean and they just say, okay, go on about your business, we're done with you. You served your time, do everything, do what your record clean is good. And I feel like that's not good enough. I feel like they should be like the first ones who should get in line for high paying jobs. Because they come out of jail, they still coming out with nothing. You wipe the record clean, but they're still
right. You still put them in that. Well,
yeah.
And I think Master Guns Gagnon, Ray Gagnon, we served together. He says it right. Government will always chase money. They can't spell culture. It's absolutely the truth. They're chasing that dollar in it. It's funny you bring that up. It was part of a conversation recently here in New York. So it's decriminalized, and I want to make that clear to people. And I'm curious of your feelings on that. A lot of people say, "Well, it's legal now." No, your individual state has decriminalized it. It's still a Schedule I federal drug. Cross state lines with it and get caught.
Yes,
that's all bad for you. That goes on the list of things that would suck.
Yes.
So there's definitely a big difference in that. But here in New York, that you talk about it, I believe the licensing is $250,000 when it's all said and done to apply for the license. And if you don't get a license, but yet have still put in the $250,000 into it, it's non-refundable.
Yes, same thing. I don't want to put the exact price on how much it is to start, because it's different from if you want to start a dispensary in Massachusetts in a dispensary or cultivation or micro is different. But they definitely that price is definitely put up there real high, and if you don't get it, you don't get your money back, which is like, kind of crazy. It's just like it kind of makes you second guess. Like, do I really want to? Because if you somebody who's like a regular person like me, and I gather all this money to go get me a license, and I don't get it, and I can't get my money back, you putting me right back down at the bottom and I'm probably in a bigger hole than I probably even started just to trying to get the business. So it's like a risky business to try to get into, because you don't get your money back if you don't get it. And if you want to reapply, you got to do the process. You got to go get that money all over again and do the whole thing all over again. So definitely.
Is that what you mean then when you say like they've put the ownership at a certain level outside of certain people's hands? Because that was the comment I made when somebody said it. I was like, look, if you got $250K to drop to go get that license, you didn't go to jail to start with.
He did it. Definitely.
Like you weren't that guy that went to jail. So when they were doing that here, they said like the first 100 licenses were going to go to formerly incarcerated people that, could get a license. Yeah, but if you got $250K, you're probably not that guy. Yeah. Or you're being backed by somebody who does have that money and they're just using your name for a licensing purpose.
And that too. And and I think in Massachusetts they didn't even have that type of they didn't even try to put that type of program in just to start out with. So it was just like the only thing they did was wipe your record clean and they set you on free. They didn't even say, well, if I'm not mistaken, they never came out and was like, oh, well, if you have a felony or if you got convicted for a marijuana crime, excuse me, got convicted for a marijuana crime, they will you got a chance to get a license. I never even heard those words being spoken out.
Wasn't even part of the conversation.
Wasn't even part of the conversation. So they didn't even give them a chance to even give. They didn't give us hope. They was like, you know what, we just wipe your record clean. That's it. We didn't get no hope.
Wow.
So at least like in New York, like you said, the first 100 people, at least I kind of give them a little bit of hope. But still, when you still look at 250, you just came in from jail. Where I'm gonna get $250 from? I'm just looking to try to get a job at McDonald's or somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's hard enough. How am I gonna get $250 if I can't even get a job?
And Nate brings up a great point here. He's talking about, in Denver, they've used the tax money for a lot of different things and been very positive. I think they were the first state overall to legalize.
Shout out to Colorado for that.
And what's interesting, and I think Mass is trying to do the same thing. Denver built a tourist culture out of it. They built a tourist culture that said, hey, come on over here and we'll take you on tours of places. You can go see things, all this other stuff. Are you starting to see anything like that in the Massachusetts area? Because like I said, my wife and I just came back from the Cape and we were on 90 going through Springfield and places like that. And I was blown away by what seemed like every third or fourth billboard was for a different dispensary. Every third, it was all you need a dispensary? It's over here. Come on over here and come to this one. You need another one? We got another one over here. Are you seeing that type of culture coming over there? Or is it kind of like, it's here, come get it?
I feel like it's just here, come get it. I said the billboards that you seen you riding, that's your tour. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
That's your tour. And I feel like, I think in Massachusetts we had it for like almost like 4 years now, if not more. If I'm not mistaken, I'm just gonna say 4 years now. I feel like there's no way that we should be better. Like we should be better than what we had now. Like you're saying, they're not chasing money. They're chasing money, not culture. I feel like if they was chasing culture, we would have them tours for different dispensaries. Like now, I'm starting to see more dispensaries open up now. I'm not going to front now. So, okay, where's dispensary right there? Oh, dispensary right now. So, like, now I'm starting to see, like, when I ride in different towns, I'm starting to see more dispensaries in different towns, which I do like, which I like to see. But I feel like I want it to be a little bit more diverse, like I said before. And like you said, like I want us to be known as like Colorado is in how California is on the East Coast. I feel like we're the first, so we should be, I feel like if Massachusetts is diverse cannabis and let diverse it more, it will definitely be culture.
Now you kind of bringing up something that I'm curious of, and I don't know if anybody who's watching right now or if you're listening to this later can send me the stats. I can obviously look it up on my own. I just don't have a moment here, but I wonder if in Massachusetts they track the MWBE, minority and women business enterprises, that own these dispensaries that are popping up, or is it yeah, they've all got these little kitschy names and whatnot, but reality of it is they're all owned by larger corporations that are just dumping names out there to kind of keep you guessing on who owns it. Anything, and it might be a shot in the dark if you know anything about that one, Jarvis, but any information that you have on who owns these, are these MWBEs that are out there in an opportunity for minorities and women business enterprises?
Um, that's a tricky question. That's like, from what I've seen, I definitely seen some of them. A lot of them are like mom and pops, but you really don't see the owners. They don't, unless you in that town and you in that town meeting. That's the only time you really gonna know who really owns it. So I'm saying, if you do want to know who's owning these dispensaries in your town, when they open up, go to these town meetings, because they're gonna they have to show their face
Okay.
who's owning it, who's doing it. So it's like, that's why I said town meetings is big, and that's why I tell a lot of people. I told a lot of people in Boston, I was like, yo, we have to start going to these town meetings to see who's coming in our community, doing these bringing in shops or bringing in these cannabis shops, because we want to know, is it like regular people like us owning them, or is it like these big huge companies? And I think some of these companies might be kind of scared to touch cannabis because it's still on the federal level still legal. I think once the government probably decriminalizes it and just shuts it down altogether, I think that's when you're going to see the real big tobacco, because tobacco is always investing in cannabis right now. So when it goes down, the government finally be like, no, fine, when the government finds a way to tax it, that's definitely
Well, I've said that for years.
That's when you're going to see real big companies just come out the woodwork, because they won't be able to stop it. But
I've said that for years. Like the minute it's taken from being a Schedule One, you're going to see Philip Morris and Winston Salem and companies like that who have massive fields in the South and places like that are gonna. They're just waiting to flip a switch and be like.
And I always said the South is a gold mine, because when I go to South Carolina, I used to go to South Carolina every year. I haven't went in a few years, but I used to go every year, and I see nothing but like land down there. And I was like, if it ever comes like legalized down here, they're gonna make a killing, because there's just so much land that they can possibly get up and just really start good farms and cultivation, because of the weather too. So shout out to that too. But yeah, so it's like when it goes, it's gonna be crazy when it gets on that level. I feel like they should have a way. I feel like big companies really shouldn't really be the first to get it. I feel like they should have like regular people who actually really went to war on crime, actually went to jail for this shit, that actually really
I've asked some folks about this before, and I'm curious of your take on it. Now, when they went to jail, it was illegal. Okay, you legalize it now. Should you get off on it? Because reality of it is, when you did it, it was a crime. Don't get it twisted. It is what it is. It was a crime. You knew what you were doing. You were running bricks, dime bags, whatever it was you were doing. You went to jail. You knew what you was doing. To let somebody off at that point, it's like when you were a kid. You got in trouble. You got in trouble. Even if your parents changed their mind later, you still got in trouble. What's your thoughts on letting that go? Almost like, we changed our mind. I know you did 18 of a 20-year piece. You good now. My bad.
I feel like it's not really that. I feel like it's not good, because if you're gonna let me go, you clearly admitting that y'all made a mistake on even. First of all, cannabis never killed nobody. It never did nothing to nobody. Nobody you never hear nobody ODing off of cannabis. Nobody dying. Only thing you probably hear about, somebody might be paranoid and they get crazy munchies. That's it. That's the only thing that's gonna happen to you when you smoke cannabis. You might get a little paranoid, to sit on the couch, relax. Or you're gonna get the munchies. You're gonna eat the whole refrigerator. So it's just like everything in there. Or you're gonna eat all your kids' snacks. Something like that is definitely going down. So
but you said it, like, if they've now let you out and following that same mindset, saying, hey, we made a mistake when we made this law, we're letting you out, then at that point, isn't that a wrong that you're getting into wrongful conviction, which means there could be, you need to be paid for that. There's laws on the book that if somebody goes to jail for wrongful conviction, you could hear that. We know where that cough come from.
Definitely that one definitely kind of hit me kind of crazy. My bad, I apologize. Get it.
Yes, Nate, it'll take away back pain. I guess so.
It sure enough will. I know from firsthand experience. I can tell you that right now.
Because you'll be laid out in the couch. You won't even worry about it.
Don't worry.
But what are your thoughts on that? I mean, if somebody's going to say, well, we made a mistake, we're legalizing it now, are we talking they should be now getting into the piece of, hey, we should have to pay this person for being locked up?
I definitely say pay them or help them get dispensaries or cultivation and stuff that they want to do. Like if they should have options, it was like, yo, we can give you this amount of money, or we can help you get a business.
Kind of put them on a path.
You know what I mean? Put them on a path. Just don't let them out, because don't. He did like if somebody did 18 years locked in the cage. It's just like when people say they go to war, they're not coming back the same.
No,
you just never going back the same. You got people that do 1 year, 2 years in jail, and they don't come back the same. You got people that probably been to war and probably been there for like only probably to have one tour and never the same again. So I feel like you have to help them get back into the community, and it's bigger than money too, and it's bigger than trying to help them get a dispensary or whatever they want to do, or a business what they want to do. It's about getting them help for their mind and trying to get them back into society. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like that should happen. Come on. So, yeah.
His roommate, girl, somebody.
Yeah, my bad. I apologize for that.
That's all good. I could hear it. Now, it brings up another question. So you've got your show, New England Hippies Podcast, right?
Thank you. Shout out New England Hippie Podcast.
So how long have you been doing your show for?
I've been doing my show for about like 2 years, I would say.
Oh, wow.
Going real strong for 2 years.
And now what is your main focus with that show?
New England Hippies, we are a hip hop and a cannabis based broadcast, but we also like to promote black and brown owned businesses, and we like to promote cannabis business, any type of cannabis business that's out there. So that's one thing we big on. So it's like if you have a dispensary in Massachusetts, we'll love to have you on. Or if you feel like if you're a grower and you feel like you got the best cannabis, come New England Hippies, we'll try it and we'll let you know. You know what I mean? We'll give you 1 to 9 stars. You know what I mean?
And just send me your free weed. I'll try that for you.
Yeah,
I will do that for you.
Yeah, so it's just like we definitely about that. But it's bigger than, I want to say it's bigger than Massachusetts. I'm rocking with the whole New England, because I'm starting to realize it's a regional thing. It's just not a Massachusetts thing, because Rhode Island they got medical cannabis. I'm not sure if recreational yet, but I know they got medical. I think Connecticut, either they got it or they're trying to get it. Maine, they got it. So it's just like, I said, okay.
Well, Vermont's very different though.
Vermont, I'm not 100%, because I be forgetting about Vermont because it's so close to Canada sometimes. Shout out to Vermont, you know what I mean? But Vermont too. So
Vermont's the only state that put it to it wasn't what was the difference? Because most other states have been a vote by their assemblies. Vermont is the only state that it was actually a vote by the people. It was a referendum by the people, but they're also they've taken a different approach, that they're not a tourist state with it at all. You have to have a Vermont driver's license to buy in Vermont.
Yeah, definitely. So Vermont's definitely Well, my closed out to everybody. It's like they got their forts up. They're like Game of Thrones. They're like the North. They just want to be
They're north of the wall.
Yeah, they're north of the world. They're just like that's Vermont. So, well,
Yeah, they're different. And Nate, I'll have to hook you up with Nate when this is all over with. Nate actually helps book guests for me sometimes. He's very good at it. He can help get you all them cats you're looking for.
Shout out to Nate. Big shout out.
Yeah, big Nate knows how to find them. So who so you're focused on it. Is it just you? Do you have a co-host, or is it your gig and some cats pop in here and there?
Man, I'm just the host right now. I mean, I'm thinking about getting a co-host. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I should get something. I feel like I should get a co-host. I'll be like, no, I'm good myself. But right now it's just me. I like getting the guests. I like vibing with the guests. I like showing my guests a good time. They'd be like kind of skeptical. I was like, I said, all right, come do a smoke a blunt, relax. We're gonna be good. You know what I mean? It's a good time.
Oh, so they do it live with you in studio.
Yeah. See, that was the problem I was running into when the pandemic first hit, because that's what you were supposed to do. Then the pandemic hit, so I was doing it over Zoom. So it was really hard, like to really try to. I'll be like, yo, I got this. This is on smoking on what you smoking on. It was more of a like what you smoking on, what I'm smoking on thing. But like, I definitely want to get definitely want to get guests in house and definitely just like smoke them out, like definitely like smoke them out and just show them. And the show really was really good time. Let's talk about cannabis. Let's talk about music. Let's talk about whatever comes up. It's just like, it's definitely an unscripted podcast. So you never know what you're really gonna get. You don't know what's gonna really conversation that you're gonna have or go, or what direction it is, So that's one thing I love about the podcast. So I definitely, big shout out to Mizzo and from Presidential Farms. He's in Connecticut. Real wavy podcast I had with him. Shout out to Big Fritz. It was a real dope podcast. DJ Strategy was crazy nice. It was a nice podcast. So yeah,
tell us about those folks. I mean, you talking about, I mean, they on point like that. I mean, tell me a little bit about what are they doing?
Presidential Farm, my man Mizzy. He got, he's like the president. He got his own little thing that he's trying to put out there with Presidential Farm. He's from Connecticut.
And now is that a growers farm, like growing his own weed?
Man, he does. Man, they got everything, man. They got the right runts on deck. And I say that right now. Those runts, if you like runts, man, it's running crazy in the streets right now. He got the best. So shout out to Mizzy for that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I grew up in East Baltimore, and I know a thing or three. I ain't never heard the term runts on deck. Hold on.
Oh,
you have to educate an old white dude right now. The hell is runts on deck?
It's culture. What we say on deck, that means we got it. You know what I mean? So ever say they got it on deck, you just know that they got it. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, you got it on deck. All right, word. Just let me know. Just let me work. I can slide through. All right, word. You know what I mean?
See, I understood everything else you just said, but runts I ain't never heard. That's like the first time I was in.
It's a new strain of cannabis that's really hitting the streets. It's real strong. If you're a new smoker, probably I'll probably stay away from it. If you got work in the morning time, I'll probably still stay away from it. Let's put it out there.
Hold on. You said if you got work in the morning time, stay away from it. Yeah, does it have a clock on the side of it? Don't use this if you have to get up at this time.
Yes, if you got work, if you got regular 9 to 5 and you got to work, if you wake up at 7 o'clock, you smoke a blunt of runs, you definitely running the risk of not going to work. I'm just telling you that right now. So,
that's the greatest.
That's true.
It brings up, and when you and I said we were going to talk about this, what's some of the things that it sounds like, Jarvis, and make sure folks you're checking out New England Hippies Podcast. You can find Jarvis Moore on LinkedIn. That's where Jarvis and I met. You can find New England Hippies on Instagram, and it's new England Hippie on Facebook. You can find those guys over there. Make sure you give them a quick like, follow, and all those good things. But one of the things that I want to talk about, I remember in high school, back many, many moons ago, people still, made the comments, stems and seeds and all that stuff. Nowadays it's professionally grown. It's, I can't think of the damn movie that came out years ago where it was like the one guy was like a special ops Navy SEAL or something, and his buddy was a chemist, and they both liked the same girl, and the Mexican cartel was coming after him for his weed because he was like, I've got this at 27% THC.
Oh yeah, sure. I probably don't know that movie right now on top of my head. If I probably see it, then I probably got you. I probably watched it too.
Nate, look that movie up for me because I can't think of what the hell the name of that movie was. But what are some of the advice that you have for folks that are like, maybe they come to Massachusetts, they go to the Cape for the first time, and they're like, I know there's a place around the corner. I'm allowed to do this, whatever. What's some of the advice you give them for a first time? Should they do an edible? Should they go and buy, an entire rig, or, what are we talking about here?
I say if you in a state that has as cannabis is legalized and you travel a lot and you like to smoke, grab a medical card because you get the deals. That's facts. You just get deals. Like I went to Vegas and I have I'm a medical card user, and I got deals everywhere I went. I was getting deals because I'm first time buying stuff like that. So that's real lit. I was throwing that out there. But if you're like a first time user and if you don't have a card and you just okay, you just want to go and try it out. If you never smoked cannabis before, I suggest like you really talk to the if you walk into a dispensary, really talk to the bud tenders and just really tell them. They're called bud tenders,
Okay, that's a new one for me.
And what a bud tender is basically somebody who kind of helps you out with your cannabis and trying to, and you like, oh, this is what I want. They're supposed to know the cannabis. They're supposed to know. Oh, you go ask him like, I'm a first time smoker. What do you think I should have? They might say, oh, well, we got this White Widow because it's only like 19% THC. And it's good for your body. It's not going to get you that overly head high that you might make you hallucinate or go crazy sometimes. So it's like, this is what you might get. But if you want the edibles too, because you kind of got either the stigma from smoking because you're older, older cats, they're like, it's still smoking. So I was like, okay, you try the edible. The dispensary is always the best way to go because you can microdose. You're going to know how much THC you actually really get. And sometimes you only need 5 or 10 THC if you're a new smoker because you don't know how it's going to affect you. With the edibles is you might want to take it and relax for a little bit because it can hit you an hour or two later. When you say, oh, I'm not even high, then you're stuck there. You know what I mean? So like edibles kind of hit you differently because the THC you kind of is already in your body, you're inhaling it, and then when you're ingesting it, sometimes it just works a little bit slower. I don't know why. I need a lot of edibles. I'm trying to get your strongest edibles. I want your strongest edibles. Let me get it because don't give me no weak edibles. I probably will not eat it. I'm sorry. Like that's just me. But because I'm an experienced smoker, let you know right now.
Now that brings up a great point, though. When you say that, so do you not use the edibles at all, or would you even for somebody who was like, yeah, like I said, first timer, would you recommend the edible over the smoke, like for a first time, or is it too, like you said, like it creeps up on somebody too much?
That's a tough one because I always say is for me. I'm always gonna tell you to smoke. I'm always gonna tell you to inhale it first. That's just me because I'm a smoker more than edible taker. Somebody who do a lot of edibles, they might tell you do a lot of edibles because they're like you can microdose and stuff like this. And on a blunt, you might hit it, but I say you can microdose on a blunt too. If you get too high, put it out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I could say the same thing. So it's just like it's all about. I say what you want to do. Some older people don't really like to smoke because growing up, because of the stigma of growing up with smoking. Right. I said, okay, well, go get you like a nice drink or go get some tincture. You can get some tincture, and what tincture is it's like real science stuff put together. It's real science stuff. Put it together, and it's kind of like liquid cannabis at the end. And you take like a little drop. You put a little drop in your drink, and you drink it, and it'll mellow you out too. I call it the Green Dragon. You know what I mean? So
I saw one of your videos. One of your buddies made like a mixed fruit cocktail, or
that's mine. That's the heaven. You know what I mean? Shout out. That's what I personally make. I call that the heaven. Because when you drink it, you really feel like you in heaven with all those fruits, and when the cannabis hits you, you're definitely in heaven. So shout out to Heaven. Definitely gotta make sure you keep away from the kids because you don't want them actually gently drinking it. That's always another thing with cannabis stuff too. If you got little kids around, make sure that you store your cannabis in the proper way. For kids cannot get it because sometimes kids they don't know if they see your edible they might say oh a cookie and they're gonna eat it. So like definitely like make sure it's out of kids range. Get you a little box somewhere and stuff it in the box and put underneath your bed where kids can't get it and the dog can't get it too because I get rid of my dog if he goes in my stash. I love him, but yeah, you know. You got to go, you know.
Well, I mean it's interesting to me. Just I'm listening to you. You know, it's not just make a brownie, smoke a joint. I mean, you're talking tinctures, you know. Now, the stuff that you've got right now, is that something you rolled or is that a pre-roll? You know,
this is what I roll. Me personally, I like rolling my personal blunts. Personally, I don't really go for pre-rolls. But if you're a new smoker and you don't know how to roll, pre-rolls is the way to go. You know what I mean? Because you know you get you a half a gram, a whole gram, whatever, and then you just can go. As soon as you get home, you go right into the bathroom and just spark it up. You don't have to go. Me personally, I like rolling because I like rolling my own stuff. That's just like a personal thing of mine. I think I just come from that era where you just roll your own stuff. So
do your own thing. Yeah. No, I get that. Now, before the show started, one of the things you and I were talking about is you got your LLC together. You got some things in the work, but you were talking about on some TV shows. Tell us about some of this. I mean, what we got going on here? I mean, there's one Jarvis we all know, which is Marvel's Jarvis from all the Marvel movies. I mean, now we're trying to put a second Jarvis out there. Okay. So what do you got going on as far as all that's concerned?
We definitely got some shows in the work. We got some different type of shows like, you know what I mean? We got
you gonna make it, bro. You are getting stoned as shit right now.
Yeah, like I say, yo, we just
Are you gonna make it?
We do a little bit of everything with the LLC. Like I'm saying, it's a network. We try to put out the new documentaries, new like TV shows.
What kind of documentaries?
Any type of documentary that got to do with the culture. It don't gotta be with just cannabis. It gotta be anything with the culture. It could be from animals or food, from anything. Like I'm just down with it. If it's dope and wavy, if it's wavy, I'm definitely rocking with it. You know, I definitely want to get into reality shows too. That's like something I've been trying to seriously really look at. So, you know, I'm just trying to do a little bit.
I could see you as the next Bachelor. I mean, you could be the next Bachelor.
I appreciate that. I take that.
I mean, but now I got to ask you then, if you were the next Bachelor, would you hand out autoflowers?
Well, I had an autoflowers
instead of roses, like a full bud, just like this.
Probably at the season finale. You know what I mean? I'll grow autoflower, and then if you get picked, I'll give you the autoflower. That's how you know. You know what I mean? If you make it to the next round, I'll give them a pre-roll. See, look, I'm already thinking. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay, so I can see that. So like instead of a rose, it would be a pre-roll.
You see how I think?
Now, look, we're writing an entire show right now. That's like, but what are we going to call it? So we can't call it The Bachelor.
Definitely can't call it.
And we already know who, instead of the one guy that like always says you need to make a choice. We already got Nate's already picked out your host. It's going to be Snoop. I was going to say Flavor Flav. He said Snoop. I definitely agree with Snoop. Snoop is definitely somebody I agree with. Snoop, I think because Flavor Flav did Flavor of Love, he would be so much better in a show like that.
But we already seen Flavor of Love, though. You know, we already have Flavor of Love already.
Yeah, but
we have Flavor. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Flavor Flav. That was some good television. For all the younger cats who's watching this, who didn't see this like around 2007, go back and watch Flavor of Love. It was some of the best TV that we probably had at that time.
Oh, it was amazing. Just a train wreck of a show. But I mean, but what are we going to call this? So you're going to be like The Bachelor. But we're giving out pre-rolls and an auto flower at the end. Bachelor of Bud.
They say we can call it love and bud or something. You know what I mean? Let's get it. Love and bud. You know what I mean?
Love and Bud. I mean,
perfect.
So we've got the show name, but I'm saying every single girl needs to look like runway level. Not like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, they all need to look like runway level.
Well, I'll let you know, Cloud and I love the big girls too, so we need a couple of big ones. I might choose the big girl. You know what I mean? I love the big girls too. We gotta mix it up a little bit.
Let me tell you what my grandfather used to say about a big woman. Now, my grandfather was from the South, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
He used to always say, get you a big girl. She'll keep you shaded in the summer and warm in the winter.
Big facts. I totally agree. Shout out to all the big girls out there.
But then wait a sec. So if we're going to do Love and Bud, do you want to do it? That's even better. You may have something there. Love and Bud, all plus size. All plus size.
Let's get it. I'm with it.
And no Snoop flavor. Even better. If you get Flavor Flav, we're calling the show Flavor of Kush.
Perfect.
So we got either Love and Bud or Flavor of Kush, all plus size. You're the first bachelor.
Yes.
But here's my question. In that show, because I'm into this shit right now. We're writing this motherfucker right now. What are some of the things so you've got the first set of girls, what is it? 20, 25 girls that are out there. They're all in their best, take grandma to Sunday service outfit, best outfit, at the club when you used to take pictures in front of the airbrush cityscape. Some of y'all too young to even know what that means. I'm that old. What's some of the questions you're asking? Because remember, this is Love and Bud with Jarvis Moore.
Do you
want to be the bachelor or do you want to be the host? Let's ask that. Hold on. Do you want to be the bachelor or do you want to be the host?
That's a hard question.
I think you got to be the bachelor first time. I'd love to be both.
I'd love to be both.
I think you got to be the bachelor first time and then come on and be the host.
Right.
So, all right. So, all right. What's some of the questions you're asking?
All right. The first question, if it's Love and Bud, you gotta say what is your favorite strain of cannabis? Because that's very important. We might have two different of strain of cannabis. She might like I like hybrids a lot. She might like just indica. I'll just okay, well,
Is that a no-go?
We could work around it. We probably could work around it. Probably can work around it. It all depends because it's just sometimes indica I can't work in the morning with indica sometimes. Sometimes it's just when I smoke an indica, I just might get on 2K for 2 hours and I might forget that I have a meeting at 10 o'clock and now it's 10:30. And then I'm just oh shoot, I didn't even look at my phone because I'm high as hell and now I'm playing 2K. You know what I mean? So I definitely try to stay away from or I passed out. If I passed out, I'm done for the day. I'm waking up at 12 o'clock. I missed everything. My day's ruined. So it's just you might have to work on that. You might have to work on that.
All right. So that's the first question is what's your favorite? What if she says she doesn't have a favorite strain? She just what if she says she likes edibles? She doesn't smoke. She only does edibles.
That's cool. Because
that's not getting her kicked off. That's not getting her kicked off right away.
No, that might give a little bit extra points because that means I can smoke more blunts to the head. You know what I mean? And then she's still chilling with me. She just eating, you know what I mean? I might go, hold on, let me get a little piece of that. Let me get a piece of that too. You know what I mean? So I might give her extra points on the low. You know what I mean? I'm oh, you just do edibles? I was well, hold on. Well, you hit a blunt once in a while though. That would because so once in sometimes I might be come on, baby, hit the blunt. You know what I mean? I might test her and pass her the blunt. She might hit it and sometimes she don't. I'm I bet. But that might give her more points on the low.
Could be a secret way to kind of move up on Love and Buds.
Definitely.
All right. Would favorite? And I think the third big question would have to be what is your go-to munchie? If she's a Funyun, Like, do you stick with a Funyun because she's gonna have funky breath?
But if she do Funyuns though, that's true. She might have the funky breath, but I mean she's old school. You know what I mean? So these young women don't know about Funyuns. You know what I mean? They might say talkies, and I might be like, that you get kicked off the show. I don't even want talkies in the house. So it's just like,
I've seen the bags of them. I've never had one. I've never had a talkie.
Man, I see my son eat them, and I was just like, and he maybe try one, and I took the chips, I threw them away, and sent them to his room. I said that's a bad prank. You know what I mean? I did not like that prank. It was very bad.
What if she says tasty cakes? Look, I just want you to know that your twin brother just logged on. Okay, one of my two closest fams right there, Terrell. You two could be brothers. I just want you to know you got the same beard, same bald head.
Let's get it.
You two could be damn twins. I sent him a text. I was like, bro, you better bring your ass on this show and come look.
Well, it's fair.
Look,
get it.
Look, his people are from down in the Caribbean. Excuse me.
Word. Shout out to all my Caribbean brothers, man. They be growing like I got a few people down there, man. They show me how they be growing, man. They be doing their thing down there in the Caribbean, man. So shout out to all the Caribbean out in Trinidad, Jamaica, all of them they're going hard with growing in the cannabis stuff, man. So I definitely know what a little bit what's going on out there. They're definitely doing it big.
Now, what if she says tasty cakes?
Tasty cakes is good.
Like, you're good with that. Like, I mean,
I'm cool with that. I'm cool. But what's really gonna get her really points if she said oatmeal cream pies.
See, look, Terrell's like, yo, he does look like my cousin. I told you, Terrell. I told you he fam. You didn't even think I was playing. I told you he's fam.
Don't even know it. You always get it. You know what I mean?
It's so great. Terrell's a horrible human being. He is horrible, and I love him.
Let's get it.
So we've got the TV show, and now that brings up you're talking about you want to create an app.
Definitely, I want to create a streaming app, like to put everything in one. Put the broadcast, the documentaries, the reality shows, the movies, all that.
So what's like? I feel like some of the ones that are out there now, they're very focused. Like Vice is very focused on like documentaries and things of that nature. You turn around and you Netflix is original content. Hulu is kind of the Wild West of them all. Hulu's kind of like, I'm gonna do my own thing. Y'all can kiss my ass. What for you is the focus that you would like to see for yours?
My thing, I rock with Vice, and I ain't gonna front. This is a story that only a few people. I only told a few people, so this is just like real. Like this is what happens when I smoke too much weed, and I've been drinking a bit. I start telling too much, but we're gonna let this slide. You know
let it be, brother.
I'll let this story slide. Like I applied for a position at Vice one time because I love Vice. Like I love the documentaries. You know what I mean? So, and then I didn't get it. And then I was telling everybody, I was like, yo, I'm gonna get it at Vice. I'm telling everybody, I'm so excited. You know what I mean? I never even do that. It was like, yo, and also when I didn't get it, I was like, fuck Vice. I'm gonna make my own Vice with a hippie feel for the culture, and we're gonna do it, and we're gonna put it on the app, and it's gonna be like freaking Netflix with like it's gonna be like the Wild West. We're gonna do everything we want. We're gonna do all new content, and then I was just so mad. I was going on a rant, and like 2 months later, I ended up getting my LLC, and now we're here like trying to really put it all together. So it was just like it was really Vice. Me not getting the job at Vice that I really made me want to be like, fuck it, I could do it myself. You know what I mean? So like
I always say doors closed, doors open. You know, that's definitely what that is. So you're working on that and trying to put that piece together. You got the podcast. Now I'm just curious, do you work in the cannabis industry now, or is that something you've tried to get into?
I'm probably kind of blackballed from working in the cannabis industry because I say it needs to be more diverse. and people really don't like that, because when you talk about we being diverse, I'm talking about putting more people that look like me and get people jobs in higher places, and in higher places, and having more black and brown owned cannabis owners in Massachusetts. So, and I'm probably always gonna say that. So I probably will never get a job in cannabis, but that's still not gonna stop me from doing what I do, because I feel like me doing a podcast that's about cannabis, and me doing shows that's about cannabis and documentaries about cannabis, I work in the cannabis industry already.
I got you. No, that makes sense.
So it's just like I work in there, but do I really work in the shop and none of that? No. Like, don't get me wrong. Somebody want me to be the brand ambassador for the cannabis shop, I'm down for it. You know,
you're good with that.
Yeah,
now you kind of you've brought this up, and I'm curious. How do you feel when people say that, for, like you've said it a couple times, black and brown owners in the cannabis industry, that there's already been a stigma with that culture, with cannabis and minority cultures, that they're just taking advantage of it? How do you break that stigma? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Probably to break that stigma, stigma's a stigma. Sometimes once you get it, sometimes they'll never break. Might always be there. The only thing I just think, if you really want culture, you have to go where the culture is at.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got, because I feel like even here, I'm not saying all these cannabis owners who don't look like me don't know about cannabis, and some of them probably got arrested for cannabis too. You know what I mean? I'm not, but what I'm saying is, how can I put it?
But majority of the time, it was it. Look, I can't stand any time in this country we put the words "war on" in front of something.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back and you look at any time we've ever put the words "war on" in front of a situation, we're still in a war on it. It's never going to change. Somebody who had nothing to do with it is getting real rich off of it. And while the people who have to suffer through whatever the issue is are still suffering. Look, war on hunger, war on poverty, war on drugs, war on terrorism. You and I are still dealing with the shit. Somebody else is making a lot of money off of it.
Exactly. And that's what I say is, I was just like, it's always the people who suffer really don't really get paid from it. It's the people who probably can, like they say, can put up to 250,000. They can get it. They probably just want to do it. You know what I mean? Because look, if their buddy probably smokes mad cannabis and know about cannabis, and they probably got the money for it. You know what I mean? So they probably, let's go into business. You know anything about boom? I got the money put up for it, boom, like that. But in my community, shoot, we all probably know about it, but it's probably you know what I mean? If you went to if all of us just come on, all of us getting locked up, and then we really don't get opportunities to get jobs in the first place, how you really think they're gonna hire us? No, it's just like, but they try to say they want to make it more diverse, but when you make it diverse, you're not putting them in high places. Like I said, they're bartenders. They're like waitresses.
They're entry level.
Yeah, the entry levels. You know what I mean? So it was just like they're not gonna get no more out of that entry level. So it's just like, I think that's like the biggest change that we probably gotta make, and that's probably like the stigma, and this might stay, but you know what I mean, we just got to keep fighting.
I think it's legit. So how, and I know we're kind of rolling back to your podcast here for a minute, because I think I love the concept of it. You know, that when you talk hip hop culture and cannabis culture, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely go hand in hand, definitely.
You know, I don't care how far back you go with music and cannabis. It goes all the way back to pot smoking jazz singers and shit like that. That they associated with different things. So music and marijuana go hand in hand. And I watched a thing recently where they talked about how the use of cannabis lowers your inhibitions, which makes it a lot of the times for singers, it's easier for them to just belt out lyrics because they're not thinking so much about what they're doing. They're just doing it.
Definitely. It's just like you say. Sometimes that those hits of Cannabis kind of get you in the tunnel vision. You know what I mean? If you ever play like type of sports or anything like that, you know what tunnel vision is. It's just like you in that zone where nobody can get you out of. And sometimes when you smoking Cannabis and that beat come on, you just really just in that zone and nobody can't get you out of. That's that tunnel vision. And sometimes Cannabis gets you there. Some people just got original talent. They can get there without it. You know,
Absolutely. I mean, listen to me on this microphone and my silky voice. Just the silky sounds of your host, Sean. But hey, look, you're absolutely right, Nate. You know, medical, it goes back even further. It was used in a lot of cultures for medical purposes. Somebody was telling me there's still parts of this country where you can go down the road and it still grows wild on the side of the road because it is what the fuck it is. It's a weed. You know, you'll find it, and it goes by many different names: Chiba, Kush, marijuana, OG, marijuana.
Back in the day, my grandma used to call it reefer.
You know
what I mean? That was like, yeah.
Ozzy called it sweet leaf.
The devil's lettuce. I heard
devil's
that one.
Lettuce.
I heard that one.
Autoflower. If you to go look up autoflower, I said that to somebody the other day when we were talking about this show was coming up. I was like, I'm gonna see if he knows what autoflower is, and they were like,
well, what an autoflower really is just like it's cannabis and it grows, but it don't basically. It just grows in 90 days. It's just a shorter period for it to grow. A regular, probably a feminized seed will probably take you like 8 to 10 weeks, depending on the seed. To go in the flower, and it's probably gonna take another when it's in flower. That means when it's budding, and you got the cannabis is on there. It might take another 8 to 10 weeks, depending on the strain. So it's with the autoflower, it only goes for probably like 90 days. You know what I mean? So something like that. So like So
check with your chemist. You checked with your chemist just now?
Yeah, definitely. They'll come through trying to get confirmation. I was like, oh, that's probably 90 days. But I should like, I was like, all right.
I looked. For those of you who aren't watching the live, he looked up. I heard the door open. He looked up, asking, 90 days, right? That sounds about right.
I
was like, fuck, he got the chemist just coming right in with him.
So, right when the question happens. So that's exactly how that's crazy. So let's get it.
That's the way it's supposed to happen. So how often can we catch your show?
I probably drop episodes. I'm definitely gonna. I haven't dropped the episode recently because I've been so focused on the app. But I definitely been doing podcasts, so I'm probably definitely gonna start dropping them in another month or so. I just want to gather up a lot of podcasts in one, so I just what I mean. Just trying to do it week to week is kind of crazy, and I'm got this other stuff going on. So but you can catch me you catch me in my podcast anywhere. That podcast are being streamed. You catch the visual on YouTube. We put it on there too. So it's just definitely rock with me. We definitely got some new fun guests. We gonna up everything. We gonna up the entertainment. We gonna up the energy. We gonna up the smoke. We just gonna up everything right now. So and
it's all new. And it's all New England hippies.
All New England hippies. You know what I mean? Let's get it.
And now if somebody wants to be a guest or they know somebody who would be a good guest for you, they think, oh, you know what? My boy's about to drop an album. I know somebody who grows their own bud, whatever the case may be. Where can they find you at?
You can hit up me. I'm everywhere. Like you said, Facebook, New England Hippies. You could definitely hit up my IG. I'm on there a lot. New England Hippies Podcast. Or you can hit up Cloud9617. I'm definitely on there too. I'm really... Those IG is probably the best place to hit me at, no cap. So definitely hit me on my IG. I'm on there heavy. Facebook, I'm on there heavy. So it's just definitely place. So you can email me at newenglandhippies.com. So you know what I mean? At Gmail. I'm kind of high right now. You can hit me at newenglandhippies@gmail.com. You know what I mean? Let's get it.
Well, I'll make sure that Nate, hopefully you wrote all those down. We'll get you guys linked up. Nate is the man. He will help find you guests. He does it for me all the time. We're going to get ready to close the bar up here, brother, man. We're coming up on an hour. Don't log off after this is over. We got to talk for a minute. As always, folks, make sure you're liking and sharing everything we've got going on. The Above the Bar podcast. You can find us, again, wherever you're watching us live right now, wherever you're listening to us. But you can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, our parent network, Earplug Podcast Network. Make sure if you got a cause you're supporting, reach out to us for sticker and a cause. Send us that at the Above the Bar podcast at gmail.com. Next week, we've got Charlie Hagan. We're talking about supplement. You ever take supplements? Cannabis is not a supplement, just so you know. It is not a supplement.
I'm about to say probably cannabis. That's about it. But now,
but we're going to be talking about different food supplements and stuff like that, dietary things. She's down in Corpus Christi. Interesting lady, like whole families prior military, kids prior military. Very, very much fits that Texas Corpus Christi kind of mold. But a cool lady. Maybe I have to remember. I have to ask her if she's ever smoked. I'm curious because she would be she reminds me of like if she ever did, like it would be very properly rolled, like look like a Virginia Slim.
Yeah, for real. I know exactly what you mean. See, sometimes man, if it's hitting, it's good. That's what I was saying. Like, you know what I mean? It all depends, though. If I'm around certain people, everybody blunts looking real nice, I'd be like, I can't be the person with the ugly blunt. You know what I mean? So that's different. But if it's just like me by myself, I might not care.
I wouldn't even know I wouldn't know a cute one from an ugly one. But I couldn't even tell you. But we're going to get our show going. We're going to do, what did we say it was going to be called? Love and Blunt. Love and Bud.
Yeah,
Love and Blood. Buds. Love and Buds. Yep. All plus size girls. Looking for Jarvis is looking for love.
Let's get it.
And we're gonna do that. Make sure you like, share, follow, folks. We need the love. We need the support. Definitely. As we do on all shows there, Mr. Jarvis, the guest always gets the last word. So don't log off because we got to talk for a minute. What is the last word you got for us?
I just want to say, man, peace and love to everybody, man. That's what I'm all about, man. Hope everybody just, man, enjoyed this podcast, man. I definitely had a good time, man, with Sean, man. And, man, just chase your dreams, man. Never let nobody say that you can't do it, man. Just do it. Just grind. You know what I mean? Let's get it.
Be sure to push your stool in.
Yeah.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation, found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.